Rolling out turf. Rolled turf is being used more often on construction sites around the world. It's no surprise then that the installation process is gradually improving. The ingenious workers you see on the screen use a special pad system to assemble the lawn base. Thanks to the modular design of the system, installation is simple and quick. The latches ensure the integrity of the lawn. The base is specifically designed to keep the lawn in place. And thanks to the special material, the modules don't rip because of the weather, they just expand or shrink. Mailbox decoration. The construction you see on the screen performs two functions at once. On the one hand, it adds stability to the mailbox. The stones around the base will hold the post firmly in place. And of course, they also give the mailbox, as well as the entire area of the house, an unusual look. Special concrete blocks are used for the work. The master can give them the necessary shape on his own using a diamond saw or buy them ready-made. The decoration work begins with the preparation of the base. First, the gravel layer is topped with a sand layer, and then the material is compacted. At this stage, great attention is paid to the uniformity of the base. Even a tiny bump will cause the blocks to be laid incorrectly. The subsequent decoration process is not particularly difficult. The blocks are stacked on top of each other and glued with a special adhesive. Hyperrealism. Long ago, it was believed that drawings on the walls of buildings and constructions were an act of vandalism and should be removed immediately. But today, expert artists take street art to a whole new level. Many buildings are decorated with drawings that are truly works of art. Colossal Media is an American company headquartered in Brooklyn, New York. Its artists create mural paintings, and the result is so great that their clients include world-renowned companies like Adidas, Nike, Coca-Cola, Samsung, Google, and many others. The ad consists of a painting that spreads across the entire facade of the building. Before starting to work, the building's carefully selected. It must be large enough and located in a good place so that as many people as possible can see it. And now we'll talk about the main reason why these artists appear in our video today. Creating a drawing on a normal canvas is not an easy task. Now imagine that the canvas is a several meter high wall and you have to work by hand with the most common brushes, but that's not all. Colossal Media specialists don't create just any drawing. They've chosen a style known as hyperrealism. This means that the images they create on the walls are similar to a photograph. As you pass by, you probably won't even realize you're seeing a drawing and not a photograph. As you can see, this work entails a large number of difficulties. It's necessary to draw at a great height, in an uncomfortable position and standing up. The paint is toxic too and has a strong smell, so artists have to wear protective masks all the time. And the weather can also be problematic. We're talking about both rainfall and strong winds. And finally, works of art on this scale always attract the attention of passers-by, which means the artists have to draw under the glances and flashes of the cameras. The brilliant workers of Colossal Media say that quick and easy work is not always good. To create truly spectacular things, you need talent, dedication, and perseverance. And these artists have those features to spare. Creating a mosaic. Imagine a job where you have the responsibility of putting together complicated puzzles on a daily basis. That's what this talented artist does to create a mosaic of ceramic tiles and colored glass. Take a look at these drawings. Each of them, despite their large size, are made of small pieces. All of them are unique in shape and size. The work begins, of course, with choosing the drawing. The master needs to figure out the color of the materials he will use, as well as how many pieces he needs for the future mosaic. The raw materials used are ceramic tiles and large sheets of colored glass. When colors and materials are selected, the master repeatedly cuts the materials to create many colored details. The next stage of the work begins in the studio. The mosaic pieces are assembled into a single painting. This process is so laborious and complicated that it takes an average of 2 to 4 months. It should be noted that one of these images can consist of 50,000 details. When the image is ready, it's divided into several parts. This makes it easier to transport the mosaic. Then it's taken to the right place and the installation process begins. This stage is very complex and time-consuming. First, the surface is prepared. The wall or floor must be perfectly smooth and flat so that the mosaic settles correctly. The surface is then covered with a cement-based adhesive, which fixes the pieces in place. Although the mosaic is brought from the studio, sometimes the masters have to manually assemble some of their pieces on site, especially the joints and the edges. And finally, to keep each of the small pieces in place, the drawing is additionally covered with cement mortar to fill in the gaps between the pieces. Finally, the excess mortar is removed. Cutting materials. Customization is an integral part of any construction work. This is because almost all materials created in factories and workshops have a standard size. However, depending on the task, it is necessary to give the standard parts a suitable shape and size. This applies to any building material. Here, for example, the worker processes glass. Look how carefully he acts during the process. The worker draws the wavy edges by hand and then cuts them with a knife. He has to be as careful as possible while working. Even the slightest error can damage the piece. This manual work takes a lot of time. Therefore, it's used only when it's necessary to create unique details. If the task is to create a large number of parts of the same size, the process is accelerated using specialized machines. This machine is equipped with 2 work tools. The blades process the glass first horizontally and then vertically. The worker then presses on the workpiece to split it into strips and then into tiles of the same size. In this case, a metal profile is being processed. The master uses a very common tool, tin snips. At first glance, the actions performed may seem chaotic and meaningless. However, the ability of the worker is revealed when the straight profile suddenly acquires an ideal angle of 90 degrees. Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time.